Hi, welcome back to Bunny's Designs. This is live today. This is part 2. So part 2, I want to work in a colouring book, Fantastique. And I like this book so much. It was the first, as a proper expensive colour book that I bought. Before that, I'd always used cheapy £2 books. But I saw this, and many years before, my daughters had bought me the book, the laptop cover of this particular image. And so, of course, when I saw the book and the colouring book come out, that's what I wanted. So this one, the first thing I did was I photocopied the first page and I coloured it in to practice. And this is technically my second attempt because I wanted to play with the watercolours. I played with all different ones on a photocopy and decided that the Derwent watercolour pencils the best. Beautiful and smooth, gorgeous colours. That's what I wanted to use. So so I've painted, I've coloured that one in Derwent watercolour pencils. Oh, hi Kingo, hi Della, welcome back. I've done some other things and forgotten what I've done. So I've forgotten what I've started. So I'll have to go back and look at the videos, and then I might. This is Inktense pencil with paper palettes. I don't know what that one is. Because I only colour. This is pastel, and it's not been set, so that should actually have a thing inside it. It's very rare I go back to a book. I can't remember what that one is. I only colour when I'm streaming. This one I think is Derwent Inktense pencils done in the same way. So I kind of like that way I've used it. That says Derwent pastel pencils, brush blended with water and a brush instead of blended with a blending tool. And then can't remember what that one is. I think that's gouache. Or was this one gouache? I did another one that was gouache. That's probably watercolours, some kind. The one with the waterfall is Derwent watercolour pencils scratched. That's another one that's pastel. And I love some of these beautiful old book colours that I've got. Inktense pencils. That one was Derwent watercolour pencils, so they were scratched on and then manipulated with a brush. I can't remember what that one is. I think there is a video of this one, but I just can't remember what it is. So I've got a few pages to do, and I've also bought the book again. I had intended on doing a book page, but I think I'm going to have a bit of a play with. Now, this particular set of pencils is a vintage set. If you buy them now, they're blue, dark blue. These are pale turquoisey, and this is a vintage set. But because I like them, they're slightly, ever so slightly different to the new ones you buy now. But if you want to buy a vintage set, I find them just that little bit creamier. So they've obviously changed it. Oops, avalanche. I actually want to use them in a different way as well. Sorry, the laptop's decided it's going to fall. Typical. It's going to be one of those days, guys. Oh, it's completely fallen now. It's been up here for a week and it's not moved. And today it's moved all day. This is so cute. Right, there we go. Laptop, behave yourself, sit. So I put my pencils, they came in a tin of 72. I put them in my pastel box. It's a wooden box, but you can buy them in the box, but they're a lot more expensive. And the box held 90 pastels. Again, it was a vintage set. So these pencils were a millimetre bigger, and they used to stick, and they were very hard to get out. Because these do not, these come out very easily, so it's a lot better for my hands. So I couldn't keep the pastels in there. So I've got my Derwent watercolours in there. I was looking for my little colour book so that I could give myself a colour guide. Got some extra, some quite good, it's sketchbook paper, but it will take a little bit of a wash. So I'm going to slide it as a palette because I want a paper palette. So I'm going to have a practice with this. So that means that I can then go to the new and have a different technique than before. So there is a gold colour here. Number 3 is gold, and this pen is brilliant for little lights. So I don't know if I've used it on this one. I've used it in lots and lots of other ones. Yes, the lights. So if you want to show that warm light glow in the dark, and I think I've had a bit of a think of this. I'm going to make the darks very dark, and I think I'm going to make the lights lighter. So because I want these quite strong, I'm going to colour. I've got to be a bit careful with my hands when I'm using these as a pencil. But when I colour the whole square in, you will see there is a very strong warm glow. If I just coloured a bit in and then used it lighter, you wouldn't. I'm trying not to press on too tight, too dark rather, I should say. There's something under there, and then if you've got a door open, you're going to get a glow from there. I'm not doing the magic glow coming out like everybody else does, because one is I don't have the patience, and I don't want my colouring to be like that. My colouring is not my art. My colouring is for, I use it when I'm in a lot of pain to distract myself. If I'm too poorly to do art, I will colour. So that's the only time I do it. Because I'm too old to colour when I've got art. I've messed about for 50 years. It's now time I started to do some proper art. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't want to colour somebody else's art in anymore. I don't want to do that. I want to colour my own. I don't know if anybody feels that way, but I really don't want to spend my time doing this unless it's for, I'm too poorly to do anything else, because I'm probably older, and you see I can't do that very often. Can't do that, so I'm going to have to do it with my right hand. So on a day like today, I wouldn't be, we've got a bit of a glow coming out there, haven't we? So I thought I'd start here. You've got to start somewhere. So if I don't press on too hard. In fact, I just realized I wasn't going to do it like this. I was going to scratch the colour and then paint it in. But at least you can see both techniques. I'll do this, finish this one. So this is all those windows and strong warm lights. So thanks for joining me on this Thursday. We were sunny, now we've gone cloudy again in the UK. Apologies for the noise, the fan's on behind me because it got room. So I'm just scratching a little bit of colour. So this is one technique, and again what you could do is you can go through the whole page or you can go through the whole book and you can scratch the colour that you want, or the base colour if you want to do it like that, and then you can leave the pencils at home and take a water brush and you can colour in when you get there. And this arm's hurting now, but if you can see what I'm doing, I'll zoom in a bit and then you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully. Just colouring in all those little, and of course once I put and there's bound to be some you forget. So that one's in darkness, it's in light. And it must be dark because there's an owl out, so you know that's dark. If I'm not sure what it is, I'm not putting it in. I always think that's the better thing, because sometimes you put something in and you think, oh my goodness, that's not what it is. Creamier these, so you don't have to press on, as are the new Derwents, because anything you can do with these, you can do with the Graphite Tint, you can do with the Derwent ink tents. The ink tents, you've got to be a bit faster because it's an ink, and once it's dried you've got to mark, whereas this one you can reconstitute them as many times as you want. So I'm sure we're going to find some more windows. Sorry guys, there'll be another one in a minute. I'm sure we'll find some more because we always miss windows. There shouldn't be another one of those for now. It's a bird scarer. So we find all sorts of things when you're looking at these. It's a bit like the Kirby's. You find all sorts of things hidden as you go along. So I think we've nearly done all those. So I'm going to put number 3 back. And I think I'm going to use 2 brushes. I'm going to use a 00, and I think I'm going to use a 2, a 4, but that one's a pure. Yeah, I'm going to use that one. And I've just found another one that I'd missed. Another one I've missed. There'll be quite a few, no doubt. There's another one there. Oh my goodness, I've missed so many. It's untrue. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, hi Sandy. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. So I'm going to start in the top corner, and I'm just going to activate this into a watercolour. In fact, I'm not going to use that little one because it's going to drive me nuts. So we just want a damp brush. I've dunked it in water and then dragged it back on a baby wipe. And then this is a painstaking thing to just go over. And you see when you touch them, they become stronger. So I'd missed that one, but because I picked up quite a lot of yellow, or number 3 gold, I was able to do that. So we get a beautiful smooth. So it's always a good idea to practice if you're not quite sure. And then we haven't scribbled right up to the line, so we can just manipulate that colour up to the line. Oh, we've got some nice sunshine now. So I've had a big upheaval in the entire house. My daughter's come back from uni, and my other daughter's given up uni, so we've got to rearrange the house to accommodate the full family again. And we are expecting our first grandchild. At the end of the month. So things have got to change. So I thought it was a good idea to really put my foot down about this room, because I need a studio. I need somewhere to come and paint. I need it to be left messy if I need to, and it's got to be a creative space. So when you look through the lounge, it always looked messy. So when you look through to the lounge now, you see a wall of books. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. Now, if it had scribbled 2 colours, I could have blended 2 colours together, or 3 or 5. You can blend as many as you want. So, but I'm just at this moment doing this. Just making all these warm glows through all these windows. And it's quite therapeutic, actually. It's quite therapeutic. I'm not rushing, I'm not in a race, I'm not against anybody else. It's just me, my paintbrush, and my watercolor pencils. So again, it's a very quiet, peaceful way to work. And a lot of pure sable brushes are big, but they go to a lovely point. So you can kind of use them quite well. We don't want floods of water. We've got to be a bit careful, but it's barely damp, but it's holding its own. So as you can see, all those little lights, I've done them all now. Oh, hi, Sapphire. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? So I wanted to use this a little bit different than I normally do. So yes, I scratched those in, scratch 3 or 4 greens into here and then manipulate it with a brush. Or we can make our own colors. Even though we've got 72, we can take our greens and our yellows and our blues, and we can make more greens and more greens. She frightened me to death then. Jeez. Thank you. Second, please. Sorry, guys. Somebody sneaked up behind me and frightened me to death. Right, there is a boy. Oh, there was a boy under my legs. I don't know where he's gone now. So you can use these pencils. You can scrape them into a dish and make watercolors for all sorts of other things. Sorry, guys. I need to tap my skin. You can. I've moved the fan, you see, so I can hear the fan. You can scratch these pencils. Now, I was going to show you all the different ways, and if I can find, if I can just, my ankle's just a bit swollen today, but I don't think this is clean, is it? No. But I can show you. Oh dear, I can show you what to do. Just let me get a Stanley knife. I need a blade. Oops. No, I haven't got one, so you be careful, but any kind of blade will do. So what we can do is we can just wedge that here. If you wanted to do, if you were working on watercolor paper, this is not for anything else. This is just for watercolor paper, and you can use these as a watercolor. You don't have to buy tubes or pans. So let's to do, I don't know if I got the right blue, but you see, you can scratch. You can scratch this colour into here. Now I'm a tight Yorkshire lass, so I don't want to do too much, but you get the idea. You can do about 30 to 60 scrapes, and then you just trying to put the blade water, and you will add water to it. And if you added a lot more water to it, so we've got that. Let's say you wanted a wash. See, all those little bits have completely disappeared, and you can do a wash, a beautiful wash on watercolor paper, and these completely disappear. But what you can also do, and I might as well show you now while I'm here, is you take your water, and I just managed to get some gunk on my finger. Hi boy, the boy's back. Hello, Alf Pants. So what you can do this way is you can wet the paper. I hope you can see this. I'm not wetting it too much because it's not watercolor paper. But you wet the paper, and then you can scrape some blue in there, some green, in any colour you want, any colour, as many different colours. You never get mud. And this is why these are magic. So you can do all that, and then you can use a bit of a dry brush, damp, and you can make a pseudo grass effect. You can also, again, this should really be on should be a lot wetter than that. And you want to use what I call a nicer kind of wetter. And it only sticks to where it goes. And then you can mess about with it if you want to make a mushroomy kind of thing if you want. And you can get tones and colours that you can't get. It's not very well done because it's not on watercolour paper. But you can, if you've done a wash of a colour, so say we've done that, and you can also do little things like this, you see. I'm going to do a proper video of this because this isn't working well, really. can do it on and you can have a stone wall effect without actually touching them, without blending them in. But you can do all sorts of wonderful things with these pencils. That's a very bad example. The problem I've got is I'm not on watercolor paper, but you can do anything on watercolor paper you can do with a tube or a pan, and you can also make a wash. So you can start with your, again, there's a little bit of pink on there, and it's, every time I touch it I pick it up. Good quality watercolor will always reconstitute back, but you've got to be a bit careful if you mess it up. So I'm going to get rid of that baby wipe and get another one. I don't normally use baby wipes, but my face wipes, everything's higgledy-piggledy at the minute. And I still carry face wipes in, baby wipes in the car, even though my girls are now 19 or 21. Right, so that's my fine one. So I'm going to just turn that around. So we can, oopsie doopsie doo-doos. We can make colors. We can make, you can use all sorts of different ways to do it. But I don't know, I'm in a bit of a paintbrushy mood, you know, a bit of a watercolory mood. I like sometimes to hold a nice little brush. Sometimes I don't want to start with something quite kind of in your face. So I'm going to put that tin there. So I've got my pencil sharpener. In the lid, I've got this wipe. So every time I'm cleaning the brush, I'm dragging it back so it's barely damp, because this is not watercolor paper. But I kind of like the idea of working from a palette, I think. So most things are going to be green and brown. These leaves look quite nice. I think I might do the little huts first. So we've got, and this is where I hadn't thought about these tins, because all the browns are all down at the bottom here. So I'm going to have to pick them out. But they do pop out really easily. It's not like, and I can't find my book of watercolors, otherwise I would use it as a reference, because it's so much easier to see these colors on my little book of watercolors. But I don't know where they are. Hi, Alf. Alfie's just wandering around. So sometimes you might have to do a little bit of a test. And then, of course, don't twist with a baby wipe, because it's a warm, you know, you can take that to a paler and then think, well, actually, I don't know about that. So we can put that one together. And the beauty of these is you can put as many colors together as you want. And that's a blue-gray. You can just put as many colors as you want together and make a couple of squares. Now, a word of warning, you want a bigger square if you're going to do the same colors. This is just kind of me fiddling. But look at that beautiful, gorgeous blue-gray there, that brown. That's almost, I've made, but it's a pale color. And this is why you can play with colors. So although there's 72 here, each pencil gives you 10 shades and tones, because it's a watercolor, so by adding water, so you get full strength, and then you've got 10 shades and tones. But then you can do another thing by adding complementary colors to make shades which are darker, but each one gives you 10 at least, so that's 720. And then you can mix any colors together that you want to create others. So you've only got 72 pencils, but you've got millions of colours, and you don't have to, you know, mess about too much to get them. So I actually quite like that. I think that is a beautiful colour, and not straight out the pot. I don't like paint straight out of a tube. I don't like it out of the pan. I like to mix it with something else because it just gives it more body. Have you got any questions? So I'm not sure if I did this. I'll just do this very quickly. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. Anybody want to say hi? Always worries me when I see people watching and I don't know who you are. It's scary. It means I feel like you're up to no good. I have a very suspicious mind. So if anybody wants to say hi, that would be grand. Put me out of my misery. If anybody's got any questions or anybody's got any suggestions, that would be good. Alfie will be here with us shortly. We'll have an Alfie cam. Hi, Darla. Welcome back, Darla. Thank you for stopping by. So I actually quite like this. It's almost a muddy, mucky, greeny brown. And oh, now I can't remember how I made it. So again, what I always try is I try to write the numbers. So that's 63. And you sketching, you scratch at the bottom back of your sketchbook your colours, and then you leave the pencils at home. You can do that as well. So that's that number. And I think the other one was like chocolate. Oh, no, it wasn't blue. It was blue, wasn't it? It was that one. No, it wasn't gunmetal. It was blue-grey. And that number is 68. And these pens just seem a bit, sorry guys, a bit softer than before. So I am using a number 4 brush, but it goes to a point because it's a sable. So don't draw it back, so it's got a bit of dampness there, and then we'll just mix that together. And of course, what you want to do is you've got one colour, but then you might want to go shadow darker or browner, so you end up with 3. You can just see that. So although there's just one colour there, now the other thing is you don't always need it's quite a it's like a greys, that, but again, I've made my own greys. There's something so nice about making your own greys. That's a really lovely blue grey, is that. I think I might do the slate roofs this colour. I think I just need a bit more water. Now this will not like water, so we've got some of those there. Pick up a little bit of dark and pick up a bit of dark from that side. Now, of course, the beauty of the Colin is it's a grayscale, so you could just wipe over the top and it would be fine. You could go one color straight over the top and you would get color tones because it's a grayscale, and that's the advantage. Or you could mess about like I do. Hi Anna, welcome to Bunny's Designs. So what else have we got? Another slate roof. That's a wooden roof. Got some brickwork. I think that's like a bit of a slate roof, but more of a grey one, I think. So, oh, it's probably a bit too blue, but again, what we can do is just take that across, so we get a bit of motion in there. You got to put just barely damp because it's dried now. That's how quick. About 10 seconds it needs to dry because it's not a watercolor paper. But as I say, you can use this for a professional watercolor. There's a beautiful owl there. But I think I'm going to do all my little slate roofs and see if I can find any more slate roofs. Obviously, if it's a tinier space, I might have to use my tinier brush, which I have put somewhere. So this is a 00 series 7, so probably a bit too good for a colour book, but there's something nice about working with nice products, if that makes any sense. Sometimes you just think, I want to work with a nice brush. So I'm using this as a paper palette. There's one under there, look, so. And the nice thing is that you won't notice it now, but when it's finished, it might have a slightly better look than it would if you'd used straight colors straight from a tube or a pencil. So you're making colors that are not normally about, and that does something to your painting. If you can use a limited palette, all the colors will be joined together. And that's what I did when I made 630 colors from 3. So with the printer inks, and they looked, even though there was a cadmium red in there, there was a pinky red in there, there was alizarin crimson, and there was all the browns and the greens. It didn't make any difference because they were all come from the same background kind of thing, so that it was connected. So it looked slightly better than it would have done if I'd have just used so many different colors. I'm thinking about a monarch butterfly for that. I like the idea of a monarch, and everything else can be kind of dark then. So I've coloured that little one in there. There's lots of wood. There's some chimneys, so we need a bit of a reddy colour. I've just seen another quite dark, this one I've just seen. And not quite wet in smaller brush. And we have a very hot day today in the UK. And I think that's going to be. And I do like this method because you use most of the colour everywhere, so you don't waste any. There's a tight Yorkshire lass. I like that idea. That when you show you the baby wipe and the water pot at the end, there's not going to be a lot of waste. There's be another roof there somewhere, but I seem to have lost it somewhere. Have a look. There's a tin bath, and I've got this pale grey, so I'm going to put that on the bath. So, and now it's paler. Sorry, he's going to grumble. I can put that on there, so that looked quite nice. Seems to be a bit of a colour under there. Sorry guys, the dogs are having a bit of a bark. There's a metal pulley, so I'm going to put that in there since I've got this kind of gunmetal colour. So I do have gunmetal, but I have made it with, can't see particularly well there. I've made a gunmetal colour. So if you didn't have gunmetal, you can make it yourself. And there's something quite nice about getting all excited when you've made a Payne's grey, or you've made a grey, you've made a colour that, and that's a rope, so that wants to be a completely different colour. But that doesn't want to be a different colour, that wants to be a grey. So perhaps if I took this pale, this would make a straw colour. Now this is very tiny, this. It's very tiny, but I think we might just get away with a little bit of rope. And you won't see this until I put the dark behind it. And then it'll pop out as straw. I found another little number 3. Oh, that's number 4. I need number 3. I found one there. And you can use that. Again, it's a very quiet, a very soft, quiet way to work. I coloured one in just down there somewhere. I forgot what it was now. There's an open door, and what they've got is a bit of a thing going. Can always put more things in. Well, hi Anna. Hi Carol. Anybody else? Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you. It is a gorgeous book, this. It really is. And it's been out a while, actually. It's been out a long time, and I saw it and I thought, I've got to buy it again. There's just something magical about it, about this beautiful book. And I think on the back, there's a few colours on here. That one is a jigsaw, but I have it as a book. No, not a book. Years and years ago, probably about 10 years ago, everybody had a craze on getting covers for their laptops. And this was a laptop cover. I've got it somewhere, but I can't remember who bobbed it. And I love those colours, but I didn't want to look at the colours when I did mine. I wanted to do mine differently. I think there's about 6 videos. I've got 6 videos. I think if you go to the top up here somewhere on the website, on the YouTube, you can press categories. It's not on the categories. I can't think of the word now. It's gone. But it will tell you either Colin Thompson colour book, and if you press it, you'll see Derwent watercolour pencils. You'll see Inktense. You'll see professional watercolour pastels. Inktense blocks, I think I've used in here. So you'll find all. There's a video for. Oh, there's 2. I think this is watercolor pencil, but I cannot remember. So I'm going to have to go back and have a quick look. That says Neo Art Pastels. So there's a video on that one. They're a bit, yeah, I've done them stronger colors because I just love these colors. So there's all sorts of different ones. Oh, so Darla says she likes that. Yeah, it's a lovely one, isn't it? Oh, you're welcome, Carol. Thank you. So, as I say, I'm just having a practice because it's okay doing mechanical things and books, but then I want to play with this method of working, which is paper palettes and lots of fine detail and mixing my own colours as well. So again, hence tin, and then I've got some little roofs. Anything metal I've done with the 63 and 68, and it's good. I've got a terrible memory, and I do forget what I've done. Hence, the other pages I can't finish because I've no idea what I did. I have no idea that. Now it looks a bit grungy, so it could be Neocolor 2s, but I'll have to look that up. So that's sometimes why I try to finish a colour book. And the best thing about the studio now is I can do that. I can leave everything out and come back to everything up, and then I know what I've used, if that makes some sense. So we've got lots of little wooden structures, very tiny ladders. I think I didn't manage to move that, didn't I? I did that one. So that's got a tiny bit of straw colour on it. I like the idea that it's wooded and it's quite dark, but I think these want darkening up a bit later, so I can do make everything pop out. I'm pretty sure that's a monarch butterfly. I think I'm going to do it in monarch colours. And the beauty of this Derwent set, like the modern Derwent set, is there's half a dozen yellows, half a dozen oranges, half a dozen reds, half a dozen pinks, purples, blues, a dozen greens. So you've got a good array of different colours of your primaries and your secondaries. And then your tertiaries, all your browns, are gorgeous there. So I think I'm going to stick with the little houses. Now that looks like it's a brick red, and I think we've got a Venetian red here, which is 63. Let's see what that's going to do. So again, you can just drop of water to kind of reconstitute it. So we can have it quite pale. I can have it medium, and because this is so tiny, I think it's kind of going to be gone in a couple of minutes. And I've missed a little window under there, and I've got the chimney to do as well. What number? Gold, number 3. Tiny little window under there. I'm not sure if that's a window under there, but if I'm not sure, I always leave it and then I can go back. So you can always do that if you're not quite sure. Dana says, I got my Colin Thompson book out. So everybody's colouring in the Colin Thompson book. It's a beautiful book, and I how many times you bought it. You could, and the paper's very good. It's one of the best. So again, that makes a big difference. If a little bit of dampness, it makes a big difference. So I want to put, so I'm going to use my 00 because I'm going to get a bit stronger colour, and I want to put kind of a little bit of emphasis on, well, there's a bit of a shadow going on there. Now again, it's very warm today, so my colours are drying out really quickly. So you can just have a bit of, and there's something satisfying about kind of shadows and playing about, rather than just doing it in one, which is what I normally do, more of a kind of a fiddly, let's be a bit more creative kind of mood. So I do like my touch and go system that's very quick. If you're out and about or you want to get on, but sometimes, especially with a book like this, you want to make a real good job of it, and you want to really have that little bit of a kind of an intimate moment with every inch of the book. So every little bit you want, right, you are a very important little house, not that you're the size of a fingernail and I'm going to forget you. So again, I kind of like that. You can just fiddle about a little bit. And you only need 2 brushes, really 3, fat, thin, medium, like everything else. And just put that little bit into there. I think that's a little bit better. So we've got a bit of a highlight on there. It's very so we've got that. Oh, I found a bat. This is another one where you find all sorts. Oh, it's an aeroplane. Oh, well, I'm going to do a red aeroplane. I think I'm going to do a red aeroplane. So we've got a deep, press deep vermilion. I'll put 63 there. This one is 14. I think 14. I think that's going to be, and it's very tiny this, so I've dunked and not drawn any water off this time because it's too tiny. It's just going to be, oh my goodness me, look at that. It's a little biplane. The one thing that this does for you is it teaches you brush control. So don't ever knock anything because it's colouring in, because you are just looking at that bar is under there, part of the plane it is now. So we've got that little tiny plane. I don't know if it shows up on there. There's another red brick building there. So again, if I don't drain the water off, I get a full rich colour, and then we can just drag that down. And it's going to be very flat, this. It is quite warm in here today, so. So you are learning your brush control, and then for the last bit, you've got to have a good amount of dampness on the brush, not wet but dampness, because it'll drag if you don't. There's a bit of a compromise, but I say what you've got to do is practice, and then it won't be quite so bothered. Now that's going to be a cream stone. That's cream stone. That's cream. You can tell the brick red ones are the ones that are kind of more regimental, because it's not a man-made brick one, so you know that what that's going to be. So we've got another one under there. And there's only one thing to do with this. You just keep picking little things out, getting them done, and then go back and do something else. And that's the only way to do this type, because it's so but it's number 60, burnt yellow ochre. So I'll have a look at that one. And then possibly a brown ochre. That looks quite nice. Brush, twist to a point, and we'll just activate that and have a bit of a look. And that was 60 and 57. I think I like the 57 better. There was another little bit of brickwork up there. And again, every time you look at something, you see something completely different. We've got quite a lot going on. And all the other ones are little wooden huts. So again, I need a quite a nice colour. What else have we got? Not sure about olive green. Oh, Van Dyke Brown's nice, but it's quite dark. So this is number 55. Yeah, I think that's a little cabin colour. So we'll do this one. I must have missed the tin roof off this one. You can also lift off colour with these watercolours. They just react like any other watercolour. It's just they're so versatile because they're in a pencil, and you can do a lot more. I'm going to have to do that one a bit darker. I think that's the window behind there. So bring out the gold again. Use the shutter actually, but never mind, I've done it now. Some of these are a little bit tiny, but I don't think people's going to spot things. So we've got, and I can put Copper Beach, which is 61. With that one, so I've got kind of a two colour going on, so things aren't too monotonous. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Everybody else popping in. Hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon, evening or morning, depending on where you are on the planet. They're kind of already done. I realised you were under there. Some more slate, so I'm quite pleased I've kept that colour. And that's a slate one. So. Now sometimes you can mess up, but it means you can go back in and give it a bit of oomph once it's dried. So many doors. Oops. And that smoke, I presume that's to be lifted off. Now I need there's an ivory black, which is 67, and life wouldn't be okay unless you use 66, which is chocolate. So I think some of the doors I'm going to have to work out to be a kind of a chocolate colour. Maybe do dark ladders. Oh my goodness, that's more. That's Diddy, very Diddy. I kind of like that. I didn't expect to be doing that, but I kind of like that. And I have wasted a little bit of that because it's very warm in this room today. Paint is drying before my eyes. They are a little bit fiddly, these, but again, it's a small space, it's a small book. You know when you're going to look at this, it's going to be you do know that you are not going to be doing it in 10 minutes. It's going to be, I mean, nearly every little house has got a ladder, so it's going to be a bit of a fiddly job. Found some more brickwork. But colour, so let me just find a shadow now. There. Get rid of that. And guess what I found? Some more little rooms, little light on. I think I'm going to go back and put maybe a little bit of a shadow or something on that one. It's a bit boring. But you can do as much or as little as you want, and that's again something quite nice. You can do that. If I take that. Now, last time I'm going to use the chocolate for this, I think. Yeah, I'm going to use the chocolate for this kind of branch. And you can start where it's darker. And, you know, really you can give a lot of, even though this brush is quite big, it's wonderful because it'll, it's too big to do this. This is where you can make everything look if you rub too much on your palette paper, you will make a hole. So you have to be a little bit careful. You can make things stand up and pop out and do all sorts of things. Found a little door. Now I like to do the little doors because I know a kind of a sepia is quite dark. But we're going to have darker, I think darker little doors. And it's you always forget what you're doing. You just kind of you get in your own little zone, and it's a lovely little world to for a little while is to go into this imaginary world in the forest and just make all these windows and doors. For real, these little places. That frightened me too. Sorry guys, I jumped. I jumped a bit. I think I'm going to do the tree next so that I have some continuity, because otherwise I'll forget. Sorry guys. Oh, hi Kenny, welcome to Bunny Designs. Oh, thank you. It's a wonderful page. You look at it and you think, I haven't got a clue. I mean, I've looked at this for about a year and thought, haven't got a clue what I want to do with that. And then all of a sudden, I get my vintage set of Derwents out and think, yeah, that's the thing that I want to do. Make some little paper palettes and be fiddly and get all these little places to do. And again, I said that this morning, that sometimes you're not really in the frame of mind to do this. Sometimes you want to just, what I do is scratch and go, or touch and go, touch a colour, and that's it. And sometimes I want to sit there and be a little bit more a little bit more artistic. And this allows you to do that quite nicely. And I didn't put the number down for that, did I? It wasn't chocolate, it's sepia. See, I remembered that, 53. Sepia. Can't remember what I did yesterday, but no, it went. So a bit of that. And then I'm going to do all the doors, I think, sepia colour when she finds one. Oh, there we go. And you do need, especially if it's warmer weather, you do need some colour on your brush, because if your brush drags, it makes a mess. But I think I'm going to finish the tree. I think I'm going to finish this tree, because the others can then sit behind and in front of it and can do what they want. It's chocolate. Oh no, it wasn't chocolate. It was 66. I thought 66 was chocolate. It is. 66 is chocolate. So I'll just do this for a second and then I'll check chat in a second, guys, to see if I can get this bit of tree done. Yeah, Kelly says, there'll definitely have to be a frame of mine. Yeah. Oh, I found another little golden thing. You think you'd panic, but it's like the Kirby's though. Some people look at the Kirby Razan books and go, oh, how do that? But it's a Christmas cake. You look at the Christmas cake ingredients, you go, oh my goodness, I could never make a Christmas cake. But it's so easy. The problem is, or the problem that we think there is there's so many ingredients, but there's only about 4 or 5 steps. The trick is to remember all the ingredients, and that's the same with a Kirby or any intricate kind of colouring thing you're doing. You just have to, like I decided that I was going to pick up all the yellows. Now I was going to pick up all the things. I'm going to do then I'm going to pick up all, and then you just work through it methodically. And once you've done a couple of intricate ones, the Kirby's I always do all the leaves first, then I do the flowers, and then I do the animals, and then I do whatever else is left last, because they're not complicated, but they're busy, and anything that's really busy can put you off. Yes, take one bite at a time. So that's always going to be. So you see, I'm going to do this tree now, so that once I've got this tree out of the way, I wanted a highlight on there, which I've got. It's going to make everything else pop out. All the other trees and branches are going to be behind, and they're not going to be that one. So it does quite good things. And if you want to, you don't always have to stick to what somebody else has done. The trick is not to work too wet, too big, because it's not watercolor paper. And if you get too carried away, then you can get buckles. But if you remember, go slow, break things up. So I can break these barks up into sections, and then that's going to be a lot better, and then there'll be no crinkle. And I can still control the tone that I want. Don't have to be. So, that's the Alfie snorting. It's Alfie snorting. So I can pick a dark bit out and then get rid of that one. And then we can emphasize that highlight. Go back in for that shadow. Sometimes you've just got to I've got the dreaded crease again. So it doesn't take you long. And if you're a bit bothered about it, use a photocopy. Photocopy a page and work through your colours. That's what I did the first time because I didn't want to mess it up. So I photocopied it. I took the photocopy away to the Model Railway Show, and it took me all weekend, 2 days to colour it in. But when I came back, I knew what colours I liked and what colours I didn't like. So it worked quite well. Oh, hi, Maria. We're in the Colin Thompson Fantastique colour book. And I've done 1 or 2 pages in the original book, but I bought it again a few months ago, and then I forgot about it. But because I've had a bit of a room refit, I found all sorts of things. All the colour books are together now. It's just magic. It's just magical. And I found another little window hiding under there. Now, I could do this, but be a bit careful that I don't touch the wet brown, otherwise it'll smudge. I don't want it to smudge. And again, as usual, he morphs things from one to another. Oh, sorry, Marilyn. I'll whisper. Oh, there's an Alfie under there. I'll whisper, shy guys. Shall I whisper? So while we've got that, because I'll forget to do it, that little window, and I'm going to use this with the chocolate because this is a 00, because this is morphed as a lot of Kirby's, a lot of Colin Thompson's things. It's morphed into that. So you can't scribble where it's been wet. You've got to go somewhere else. A good highlight there. That was good. But again, you only get to do that when you've practiced a bit and you know how much stays on your brush, how much comes off, and you can judge what you need without it running away with you. So this tree then goes up the page. I've got a really nice highlight now, so go where there's not been a lot of pencil left. I go straight in and take it to the highlight. And guessing that you've got that nasty crease again. So there's no instant so that one behind is a slightly darker tree. And this bit here. And that's very Salvador Dali, holding it up with a crutch. on there. I think that one is finished. Found a couple of little doors. So there is another tree behind. So I think that's going to be slightly darker. So I'm going to put chocolate with the black, so 66 and black. And so it's the same tree but darker, if that makes any sense. It's very well behaved paper, is this, which is nice. So I've done that second tree. There's another little window in there as well. Goodness gracious. That's a tiny one. Oh, sorry. Gee whiz. Alfie Cross. Never touched you. He made me jump. Oh, sorry guys, he made me jump again. Got a nervous disposition at the moment. He was right under my feet, but I think he jumped. I don't know why he jumped up, but I didn't touch him. So that one goes over there. Oh, and up there, look. So as I say, it's not complicated. You've just got to kind of follow about a bit. And then I wonder if it splits. So let me put these windows in before I forget, in there and there. Now I've lost one. There was one in there, but it's gone. But it would be dark anyway, so that's my excuse. And that one goes up there. So got a bit of chocolate left. So where are we now? I'm down here now. I've got a highlight there, but I like that, but it might be too much of a highlight. We'll have to see. Aha, I found some mulberry. This is going to be a long trick. All that goes in there then now. I've just got a bit on there. So I'm a little bit tired. So we can have olive. I think we'll have olive things. I think that's yellow. That's yellow as well. I'm pretty sure that's yellow. That's yellow. I have got, I don't know what that wants to be. Some more tree. Doesn't that go into a snake? I think I'm just going to work through all these kind of vines now. But I think I'm going to leave them that colour. Do them a silly colour, green or something. I don't think so. Oh, Marilyn, where's Alfie? He's gone off in disgust. Let's see if I can find him. If we shout him, he might come back. Off he goes. Okay. Turn over there. Alfie. That's my painting at the end with the enlarger behind it. Any minute now. Alfie. Alfie. Alfie Doodles. Alfie Master. Hello, darling. Hello. Hello. There's the Alfie boy. Hello, Mummy. You've been a good boy, Mummy. Were you sleeping and you jumped? Piggy. Piggy, were you sleeping and you jumped? It's a little grumpy pig. You've got gunky today, aren't you? Hmm? What? Sleepy boy. Hi, sleepy boy, Mummy. Everybody's gone out, so he adores me now, you see. There's Alfie boy. Wave to everybody. Hello. Hello. I'm the Alfie. I talk in a silly voice. I'm falling off. I'm going to sleep now. Are you going to sleep standing up? I don't think so, Alfie. There's the boy. You're going to slip off. You're going to slip off. You're going to sleep. You're tired. I'm tired, Mummy. He can't keep awake for a minute. He's a lazy boy. I go sleep now, Mummy. Night night. You go sleep now. You're tired, Mummy. He says you're taking the mickey out of me. It's Alfie boy. He says, I'm not going under there again. I'm not going under there. I got under there. I got stuck. You can't get on Mummy's knee. Oh, don't beg. There he is, the little boy. We go sleeping. Were you on the sofa with the big dog? Were you with the big girl? He's so tired he can't do anything but sleep. Off we go then. You're going to go in your bed. Off you go. You go now. Bye. Bye, Alfie. He's totally lost, aren't you, Alfie? Where's Frankie? Where's that big Romanian girl gone? The big girl. I'm scared of the big girl, Mummy. There you go, guys. You're tired, aren't you? We've shaved him almost, but the back end needs to. He's gone now. Bye. Oh, silly Alfie. If he's not getting any treats, he's not stopping. I want treats, Mummy. There we go. There's that little boy. Yes, he is. I prefer this one. I prefer it doesn't poop on the floor. This one just looks gorgeous. It doesn't poop on the floor. That one poops on the floor. Yeah, he needs to be cute. Because he's a bad boy. Oh, hi. Yeah, Alfie's that bad boy. He's a bit of a poopy boy. Yeah. If he sees an opportunity, enough said. He's a bad puppy. Where was it? I was following tree trunks. We were following tree trunks. And I found another one from this one. Did I find another one? There's one going up there. I do like the chocolate, but I think I like with a little bit of black or sepia. In fact, if truth be known, chocolate and black is sepia. So we've got sepia and sepia. So we've got some chocolate and some ivory black on this one, isn't it? Yeah, ivory black. So we've seen Bungle and oh, thank you, Marilyn. That was my first attempt with the light fast pencils. And because they're very soft, you don't have to press hard. Oop, that's a bit dark, isn't it? That's a little bit dark, that. But perhaps because it was in the background, I might get away with it. Gonna have some dark, because if we don't have any darks, none of them will look as if they're the others. So we do have to think a little bit now about making the other ones sit behind those, so the other ones pop forward. So yeah, it's a very rough sketch I did of Alfie Cross. But I'd never played with the pencils before, so I found another window. I found a window, and I found a door. I think that's one as well. I think there's quite one or two that I've missed in that little corner down there. Yeah, Alfie and Bungle. And there's little Jess. She sleeps on this seat. Little Jess is doing really well. And Betsy Doodles. She comes out every hour for a snuggle. Betsy Doodles. She's doing really well. And Toffee is the little cat that lives, well, she doesn't live outside, but she goes out. She's the only one that goes out. And we rescued her from Filey quite a few years ago now. So I'm going to have to scrape quite a bit of this black and chocolate. concentrate a little bit on this one. Have you got any questions? Oh, well done, Marilyn. She said 100 cats, 100 dogs and cats rescued and rehomed July the 5th. Very well done. We've just had our, I don't know what the figures are for our cats and dogs at the RSPCA. I shall have to ask and then I'll post it. I'll do a little video like I did for Jessie, because we had a dog show a couple of weeks ago. It's such a nice feeling. We're not quite sure what we're going to do with it. We've got half-acre field and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with it now Amy's home. We could turn it into a dog sanctuary or a cat sanctuary. Because when the RSPCA get more in now, we're full to the rafters, so there is room down there for cats. So I'm going to work my way across. I haven't got a crinkle. I'm working quite wet, but not too wet, shall we say. Oh, sorry, I've just read what you said about the painting. It's quite an old painting, is that? I did that about 7 years ago, I think. About 7 years ago. So I need to go behind now and do these trees. They want to be a bit darker and a bit different shade. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm also finding a lot more little windows. Oh goodness me, excuse me. I just finished my hot tea. It isn't particularly very good. I think I've dropped a clanger with the Facebook group because I had 1,000 followers on Facebook, and I had I had another Facebook for family and friends, and I deleted the wrong one, so I don't think anybody's following me now. Excuse me, I've just touched something dusty, so I want to knock these back a bit. So it's still still chocolate. But it's oh goodness me, excuse me. So I want that tree to pop out at the front. Oh golly gumdrops. I've had this silly cough for about 5 years now, maybe. And my doctor said it's nothing nasty, because if it was, you wouldn't be here. I think that say what you really mean, Heather. I should be struck off the list. Yep, that's the excuse. It's nothing nasty, because if it and I just grin and go, yeah, okay then. Because there's too many things wrong with me. People can't cope. Doctors can't cope with me, so they kind of just go, oh, yes, Heather, okay, go away. They ignore me. Which is jolly nice. So I'm going to be posting a few things on the disabled channel about whinging and moaning and things that work and things that don't. And also about things that help, things that make things easier for you to live if you've got poorly hands. Just about colouring with bad hands. It's about doing other things as well. Cooking and easy cupboards to clean and things like that. But I don't want it so light, so we can do that and then do it a bit so it can get lighter as it goes down. I'm a bit at the wrong angle for that. Again, don't forget, you've got to be comfortable and you've got to move things to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're not going to colour for long. And I'm trying not to be too wet. But I want to knock all the trees back so that this tree and this tree kind of sit forward. And then the leaves, I would think, are going to be even further forward. Does that make sense? Excuse me, guys. I just something that was a bit dusty because the room's all just been moved about a bit. Everything's a little bit dusty. Oh my goodness. Try to stand up. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I have legs like tree trunks. I was going to put a little desk, a little footstool under the desk. And that's another thing, guys. If you sit colouring, put your feet up for goodness sake. Because you don't realise how you are sitting. And you end up with balloons for feet. But Bungle has decided that he likes to do something else under my desk. Which is another unmentionable that nobody would put up with. So let me have a look. I'll look at chat. Bear with me a second, guys. Oh, anybody can pop it in capitals. I know you're talking to me. That's good, Marilyn. I go to we went to this sauna gym, this spa hotel, and it had it was a very hot sauna even for me, but they put eucalyptus in it, and that's really good. Unfortunately, my husband pushed me into the sauna, which, as everybody knows, is a dry one, and I said, "No, Nigel." If you've got asthma, do not go in a sauna. You must go in a steam room, a wet steam room, but not a sauna, because the sauna is dry and it will just dry the little bit of lung you've got left. I'm normally all right, but it might be a bit of hay fever as well, so we're not sure. It might be hay fever actually, because I've just realised that years ago, about 3 years ago, I used to take an antihistamine, and I don't take it anymore. So of course, I would think the asthma's a lot worse. I can't believe the amount of little windows that I've found since I finished doing those little windows. Let's get this darker. We can always go darker, but we want to just go a little bit darker, and then we can kind of really blacken some up so that they are behind the other ones, if that makes any sense. A little bit like I was doing with the what did we do? No, it wasn't Geo, was it? The one I've just done with Kirby Roseanne. When I was doing this one in Phantomorphia, with the graphy tint, I was making the darks black and then working backwards to kind of get things to lay over the top of other things. And that's basically what I'm doing with these, is darkening them so that it leaves this top one full. Yes, Marilyn, if you've got any kind of lung thing, do not go in a sauna because it's dry air. I just thought my husband was trying to do me in. I said, are you trying to do me in? I'm going to make that one darker as well because I want that one to be darker. Again, I probably would do better if I used, actually need black. No, I'm going to put black on that one. Is it gone? That one. I'm going to put black on that one because I want that one to be really behind. And that one has got to be behind as well. I think I want a bit more chocolate out there because I don't want it black back. The chocolate is is doing its thing. It is, again, it's a fairly nice quiet way to work. You've just got a couple of little brushes and you're just puddling around. So it is quite nice to do this. And then that one's actually behind that one, which is behind that one. Oh, welcome, Heather. Oh, sorry, gosh, the voice is going in a minute. I've not heard of that. That's why my husband and they were in the doghouse last week, because they all left me for about 8 hours because they went to see grandma, who's perfectly all right in her care home. It's wonderful that somebody goes to see her every single day. I don't think anybody's ever missed. She's never been in that care home for one day on her own. And I really think that is wonderful, because many a time people shove people in old people's homes and then never see them. They never go visit them. So I think it's wonderful. But when I was on liquid morphine, I am not allowed to be left on my own, especially not for 8 hours with no food or water. So they just buggered off and left me. So they were in the doghouse. Oh, Nigel, poor Nigel, he's always in the doghouse, but he was in the doghouse that day. So yeah, you know, it's a bit drastic when you take liquid morphine, but that's when the days I can't stream because I'm completely off my face. And I really don't like it. But I'll talk all about that on the other channel, because people that want to colour who are in their early 20s do not want to know about coffin dodgers like me. I hate to say that. I'm only 56, but I have the body of a 96-year-old. In fact, Hillary's probably better off than I am. Never mind. This is what colouring is all about. Art for therapy. And this is what I do in the Abbey. So now we've got 2 groups going on in the Abbey. We've got Friday and we've got Tuesday, and people can come and sit and draw, or they can colour. And I'm cracking on with the colour books for the Abbey as well. So they should be nice to do, so people can actually draw the Abbey if they wish. So, oh, I've missed some in here. So let me have a look. Oh, it does look like they're maybe a little bit dark. Does it look like they're a bit dark? Oh, thank you, Darla. So, yes, in here looks a bit lighter. So again, we need to knock some of those trees back. So just black and chocolate. Wouldn't ever use black on its own, unless I was doing Kirby's black. There are these areas here which are black. They're very, very dark, and there's the tiniest little bit of a pencil line on there. So in those cases, I probably, oops, there'll be another one in a minute, guys. It's the bird scarer. I might go through that, because what that dark will do is really bring out the others. Sorry, guys, there we go. There's the other one. We're all right for about an hour, I think, now. But Alfie's getting better. He used to bark like mad when that went off, but he doesn't do that now. So it's nice to put a colour with black, and then if it's a green leaf and you want a very dark shadow, put a green with it. If it's a red rose with a very black dark shadow, put red with it, and you'd be surprised what happens to your blacks. But for goodness sake, don't ever use black bare, nothing else, or neat, I should say. Hey, darling, how are you?
All right, got a cup of tea.
So Samantha has been her friends rescue chickens that have no fur. So she's been crocheting little coats for chickens. They're cute. What was the other one? Oh, look at them. So they're all running around with coats on. There's the kittens at the RSPCA. Oh, she's put little love hearts on them. Oh no, they're the kittens.
There's a Mozilla looking after one. It's the last one.
Oh, kittens, kittens. I haven't done any kitten playing this time, so I'm a bit. That's a gorgeous one, isn't it?
Jenny ran. Yeah.
Jenny. Oh, because Bunny, Bungle. Oh, look at that, guys. Can you remember how many cats we did? Did they tell us how many that rescued last year? Oh, somebody said something and I've forgotten. So yeah. Oh, brilliant. Okay, Danny. Thank you. So let's have another Alfie cam. Alfie, stop licking your bottom. That's a good boy. Oops, wrong one. That. Oops, that's the wrong one. That one.
What's Frankie doing?
Frankie Doodles. So guys, we've got a new kid on the block. I don't know if you've all seen our Frankie Doodles. Alfie, oh Frankie. This is Frankie Doodles from Romania. Frankie Doodles. Here's Hurricane. Frankie. Come here, darling. Sit. Oh, jeez. Just a second. Oh, she's a big girl. Sit, Frankie. Frankie. Oh, gone. Well, Frankie was on the kill list in Romania, so she's now here. So that's our newest baby. I think it's our newest baby. Oh no, we have a guinea pig that was nearly dead at 4 weeks old. So Samantha rescued it. She's doing fine. She's 12 weeks old and she's upstairs. We've had Frankie about 2 months. Frankie. She was called Fifi. And we thought we have to keep the F. So Frankie. Frankie. Can't whistle now. Frankie. That's Alfie. Alfie. I don't exist when Samantha's home. When Samantha goes out, they all come to me. But so now we could be watching that space. She won't come now because she's a Samantha girl. Sorry guys, I don't have another Frankie cam. Has short legs. She has short legs. Blazer socks. So thanks for popping by, guys. I'm gonna have there still seems to be a little bit more to do, and I haven't done those. How long have I been on? A couple of hours, but we've had a couple of breaks. So 2 hours to do a page isn't too bad, and I'm still wading my way through. So I think I said the lighter colors to do the wood and the Venetian red for that. So you can do 2 ways. You can scribble or you cannot. I'm just going to pinch a little bit of this light color for that thatch cottage there, like a little thatch cottage. Oh, I've got the bat to do. I think that's Alfie drinking that. So bats are normally grey. I think a bat is probably grey. So but again, using the colours we've got, I think actually no, I think I'm going to do let's copper beach. I want a sepia colour. One. So if we put that with that. We've got a bit of a brown bat, and then we can give him some, because they're quite sweet. They do. I mean, they're quite sweet when you're not near them. Start darkest at the top and then work lightest, and we end up with a highlight, which I think is the quickest way. And you can see that grey is really cooling down, and then a bit of black and grey for the wings. And then we've got a little owl there, but I want to do a tawny owl, I think. Very pale owl. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. You're welcome. Well, it was Samantha's birthday present for Amy. So Samantha found her. We did want one of the other ones, the puppies, and we were going to take quite a few on, but we failed. We failed because the field, it's thousands to have it fenced off. It's a half-acre field, and because it wasn't fenced off, they judged the whole garden as not safe. Whereas we've got the field and then we've got the garden as well, but the field isn't fenced off. It's fenced off, but I mean, next door's horses are there, but dogs can push and leap through and do what they want to do if they want to get out. And let's face it, if a dog wants to get out, it'll get out. So we failed on that one. So they wouldn't let us have all the puppies. Well, I say pups. Because I was going to volunteer to kind of take more on and see if we can get homes for them. But I told the woman off because she came to the house and came in the house, and there was hubby and me, and I said, you shouldn't really do that because you don't go into a strange house on your own. And she didn't like that. But I think that's why she failed me, because I told her off. I said, we could be murderers and you couldn't do this. Anyway, oh, I don't like that. I think I want to do different colour. I don't like those. Sorry, guys, you got me waffling now. The pale colours for that. I kind of wanted a darker colour, but I don't really want it to be the same. And I can do the eaves a different colour, I suppose. And this one up there. So again, this isn't complicated. It's just you've got to just slow, steady away. It's a bit like when you're doing fur, and you want to make a very detailed job. You've got to just think, right, here we go, start it and plod on. Like the Kirby's are the same. You have to have a little bit of a plan with his because there's always something to surprise you. So you've always got to be ready to pick up a colour that you've already used because you're bound to find something else hiding, which we love. But it's when you first look at something, you think, oh my goodness, that's too extreme. But they're not. There's lots of steps. So very much like baking a cake. It's just a lot of steps towards it rather than just chucking everything in like an all-in-one cake. Sorry. I don't think there's a video. Alfie, I don't think there's one video in over 800 that hasn't been spoilt by you-know-who barking. I think with 800 and some. And he's barked on every single one. Everyone is woo woo wooed, haven't you? This snorty pants, woo 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 wooed. Sorry guys, he's woo 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 wooed on every single video, touching 800 and some. That's probably a record, Alf Master. Nigel calls him the Alf Master. He's a sausage. And he frightens people to death that are listening. So if you ever listen to some of the other videos, brace yourself for the Alfie Master to frighten you senseless. And then if you have a dog, that dog will start barking, and it just goes on and on. And it's all Alfie, because he's a bad puppy. He's a bad sausage, is Alfie. He's a bad boy. I do like the idea that these stones, and I've got used to using with that wetter brush now. It is extremely warm in here, so probably that little brush won't stay wet for long. Alfie's barked on every single one. Which is jolly nice of him. Alfine, hush puppy, hush puppy. So I'm kind of using the palette as I would normally, picking things that are left and having a bit of a funny chimney pots. Alfie would not stop barking. Just want to have a look at a monarch butterfly to brighten this corner up a bit. Excuse me, monarch butterflies. Monarch. Yeah, it's not quite a monarch because this is British, so it would be an English one. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Oh, thank you. There should be another little one. Right. Oh, guys, we've got unboxing. Alfie's gonna bark at the box. Oh, now I had a bit of a moment last night at 3 o'clock this morning. I hadn't realised I've already got this, and so I bought it again. I said, "Oh, I haven't got that one." Anyway, so I bought that, but I've also bought a pocket microscope for doing my botanical illustrations, because there we go, Alfie, bite the box. Do you think Alfie should be a kind of a sniffer dog? Because he's so I might do a bit of a video in a minute when I've finished, because I bought a couple of books on butterflies as well, and making a butterfly garden, and butterfly thingies, I think. So I kind of got a bit carried away with myself last night. I was getting withdrawal symptoms. I haven't bought anything for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do with the butterfly. I think I might just... I always mess up my butterflies. Always. I never get my colours of my butterflies right. So I think I'm going to be doing some butterfly drawings. I'm going to copy just from books just to get a bit of an idea. Thank you, Sam, for the tea. She made me a cup of tea, bless her. I didn't think it wanted to be too bright. That was the thing, because it would spoil it, I think. So we've got the green to do. So we've got the greens, and there's 1 or 2 little houses to do things to make them pop out a bit. Oh, it was darker than that. Oops, we have another. Hello, Bung. It's feeding time at the zoo, guys, so there's going to be lots of noise. Lots of noise, guys. Feeding time at the zoo. Oh, good night, Marilyn. Sleep tight. Have a wonderful sleep. We'll see you next time. Thank you for popping by. Yeah, Frankie doesn't bark. She woo-woos. She talks and she woo-woos. I'm not quite sure what Alfie does, but she woo-woo-woo-woo-woo-woos. So they're all potty and broken in this house. Sorry, guys. Everything's broken and potty. So now I need to get to my greens, because I pulled those pencils from underneath because they're on 3 layers. Because I decided to put them in this lovely box. Oh, bless her sock. She woo-woo-woo-woo-woo-woos. Although she did bark yesterday when the internet guys came. So that's 49 sap green. I don't know, actually. I think I want to do these. I'm getting a yellow, really, rather than there's May green and there's a Chinese green. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that one. And zinc yellow. Yeah, I think I'm really thinking. I have to show you this, guys. That's my water pot. If you can see the bottom, look, the water is clear. And that's my baby wipe. So I every scrap of paint, apart from here, every scrap of paint that I've got out, I've used, and I like that. That's my kind of thing. That, yeah, I've got a thing that I don't want to introduce a bright green. So if that makes sense, I don't want to introduce a bright green. I think it would be too much. I think it's so soft. So I think this kind of green for the backgrounds, and the make for the backgrounds, perhaps, and the ones on top quite pale. Thanks for stopping by, guys. It's quite a nice afternoon. I don't think we've got any. I don't think we've got any butterflies out yet. The buddleias are out. Have you got any questions? Oh, olive. Yeah, olive would be a good one because it's not a strong green, is it? Yeah, I might look at olive. I think I pulled out something. I don't know what it was. I like this delicate. I'm in a real delicate mood today, and yet earlier I was in kind of a thingy mood. So what did I? There's an olive green, olive bronze. Let's look at that one. Yeah, that's going to be. Have we got anything else that's green? Oh, that's really nice. It's warmed it up a little bit, which is nice. I like olive. I love olive colours. So thank you for that, Heather. I will put that behind and then have. I think I'm going to put the May green one back. I think I like this. This one's for the. Oh, I'm doing my usual trick of scratch and go, and I'm not doing that. I just can't help myself sometimes. You see how stronger that is? It's a lot stronger. Whereas when I scratch it on here, and then I use it from the paper palette, and this is what I always say: you've got more control from your paper palette than you have. From the end of the pencil, and so that's why I love my little book of watercolors, because I can get some wonderful soft colors, and you can't get this color from the pencil because when you touch the end of the pencil, because they are so well pigmented, you pick up too much. And again, because this is grayscale, we're getting a tonal value with a flat color. And every time I use it, it's getting weaker. So if you go in the darkest first and then drag it out. There is a subtle difference. Oh, hi, Sunshine. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? Oh, hi, Peppers. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Yeah, I've always kind of shied away from this page a little bit, so I thought I'd be a bit braver. But that's only because I bought the book again. I bought a book the second time, so I'm going to do this, and then I might just try something different, because I do love, this is the Derwent watercolor pencils like I used to use them. So I have used them and used them in different ways, but I thought I would try something a little bit different, and also be a little bit more muted as well. I'm thinking about vintage Victorian books, so grungy reds, and I suppose the graphite tint would work quite well as well. The graphite tint that we did the earlier picture in, that would be quite good. Sorry guys, the shadows, the light's gone right round now, so I ended up with a shadow. So I've got 1 or 2 highlights on the top there. What was this one that I did? Did we do this one this morning? Let me have a look. Yes, that's the graphite tint. And again, I look at those and I think, ooh, 24 colors like that. In fact, you know, I'm really tempted. I mean, they're kind of muted, but the graphite tint from Derwent pencils are pretty awesome. I'm really tempted to do a book page in the graphite tint. It's not quite finished yet. I have a little bit of darkness to do. But I see the red, there's always red books and green books and muted blue books when they're vintage. So I'll have a look. And mine are a bit old now, but they're still going strong. These are my graphite tints. Derwent graphite tint, there's 24 colors. So, and I do like them for Kirby Roseanne's metal Mickeys, I call them, so metals and mechanical things. There's something different as well. But these are kind of a bit muted colours. These are a little bit grunged, but not quite as much that I've been using. Let's get this working behind there. So guys, I'm trying not to talk too much because my throat started to hurt again. Oh, sorry guys, I'm missing chat. Yes, yes, they do. They just have that lovely vintagey kind of thing. Well, with metal. I did the Joanna's Christmas cuckoo clock originally. I think that's when I fell in love with them, and I'd forgotten about them, but because I've had this refit and moved, I've cut the conservatory in half with the Billy bookcases, and so the other side there's a nice chair, There's my big chair and the books, so you can sit, and there's a dining table, which at the moment my daughter's using as an art studio. And then at this side, I'm kind of cut off a bit. Because I did really need a solid space for me. So I probably would do this from my watercolors, because you've got a lot of control from a paper palette. Whereas most of the time, if it's just kind of scratch and go, I just scratch it in and leave it. So I might have to go in there with that little tiny brush, but just for the minute I'm stopping with this bigger one. It's a sable one, so it goes to a lovely point. And again, you know, it's a lot of effort for a color page, but you are practicing your brush skills, you are practicing your color skills. You're going to get quite a lot out of it. It's getting very warm in here, so it's a lot more difficult to keep. And again, this page has got a lot of grayscale on it, so most of the work's been done for you. Those silly creases again that we all hate. And again, all you've got to do is just keep plodding along, picking up the leaves. There's thousands of them, but they will go. They will go eventually. Oh, very good, very good. Colour and Felt. Did you say your name was Heather? Said was it a week ago when no, it was Jessie. Jessie was on my knee, and she jumped off my knee, and all of a sudden there was a whisker, and she said that as well. It's really weird. I never thought they came out. I thought they were kind of difficult to grow. And I used to draw with a dog hair, and unfortunately the little dog that I use, has we lost him last year. But yeah, very, very strange. Oops, the fan's on, so I've got to be careful. Oh, I wonder what that was doing anyway. There's a whisker. Jessie's whisker. And that's going to be quite good, but I think this side's going to be even better. That's going to be quite, because it's quite hard. I've also found all Alfie's, I saved all Alfie's hair to make some paintbrushes with really soft, downy Alfie hair. Essence of Alfie. Or is it because they mold? I just never thought that she would lose that. I don't know why I didn't know that, but anyway. The others haven't done it. But I suppose they will do. Hubby to check the hoover. So there's some little steps as well, but I think I like this olive. works quite well actually, because if you do the full grey, they have legs. The leaves have legs, I think. I can't see. Yeah, we have cat hairs everywhere. Although it's normally the worst thing is Frankie. We never thought that she's an Alsatian cross. She's got such short legs that it's quite funny to see her, because she's a full length, but she has really short legs. It's quite funny when you see her. But again, she's broken, so she fits in this one quite well. Let's be careful, my little red aeroplane. Again, this is a bit time consuming to do each leaf. But I'm getting a little bit of something, so I kind of like that. Oh, that's where I put it up there, that I found it now. There's something quite nice about the grayscale. If it gets a bit wet, you just nip the end there, so you can just carry on. Get behind there. And I love painting this way because you don't waste any paints. It's always a favourite of mine, is this. I've got the dreaded these horrible corners that nobody likes. These little nasty corners to get into. Yes, the seams are the seams are a pain. I don't know whether I call them corners or seams or edges. There is a word, and margins. Oh, I can't think what I call them, but I'll call them all sorts of things. But they're blooming pest. And that's why I loved dear Melody. Oh, I think she'll be asleep now. Bless her. Sent me those beautiful Colin Kirby Roseanne books, but they're poster size, so they don't have. Oh, I've just done my smoke. Never mind. I was looking after my smoke, and I've just coloured in my smoke. I worked in these a couple of weeks ago, I think, and this is why I wanted to do the butterfly one, but I was going to do it in graphitin. I think I'll do it in graphitin. I don't think I really should buy myself any more pencils. really. I wanted to do the butterfly. I think I'm going to do it in graphitin. I've decided. I've enjoyed myself so much today. But these Imagimorphia and Animorphia are all Kirby's Sorry, my desk's on a slant. They're all Kirby's double page spreads. And I was going to do the butterfly today, so I think I might do the butterfly next week. We'll see how we go. But there isn't, obviously, because they're bigger, they're twice the size. They're not quite twice the size, but they're A2. And this is a bit bigger, so you lose 2 inches from the full double page spread. And they're on a nice hard, really hard board as well, so you can color them. They're really nice. They've been out a while, these. I saw them a long time ago, then I didn't think they'd made them anymore, but dear Melody found them for me and got them for me. So of course, like the parrot, there's no horrible crease in the middle. And that's what got me onto to working in the graphic tint today. But this is quite grungy. Again, if I could only have one set of pencils, it would be the Derwent watercolor pencils, because I can do everything with these. I can get them almost as strong as Inktense. I can get them as pale as anything. I can get just go back in there and do a bit more under there, couldn't we? I can grunge them up and use complementary colors to do graphic kind of things. So as much as I love the others, I do love these Derwents, and this is the vintage set. If you buy them now, you will find them in a dark blue. I don't think I've got any on there, have I? No. Try to write the number down, which is 51. I'm going to try and finish pages off now so that it doesn't matter. Because I usually forget what I'm doing, so I make little charts with numbers on. I went all the way down south for these on 9 trains in my wheelchair, but it was brilliant. And for 2 sets. I know it was to pick these up when I went to see a friend, but I like to buy things, and we've got this thing called Facebook Market thing as well. That's quite good. So because there is a very slight difference. These are, but there's no point doing a comparison, and there's no point. Normally I don't use these. You can do everything with the new set. It's just normally I don't use this set because it confuses everybody, and I'm using something you can't get anymore, like art bars. That's another one that I love to use, but I can't colour in those because you can't get them anymore. Sorry guys, I'll chat in a second. Yes, oh sorry. Oh, sorry, we're having it's very muggy and like it could be storm in Yorkshire. Oh, thank you. This set is got I don't think I have the other ones here. This set is a vintage set of Derwent watercolor pencils. There are 72. So when you buy them now, the same as the ink tense, the color, instead of being this turquoisey blue, is a darker blue, very almost a purple blue. If you see them this color, they are 30 years old. If you see them silver, they're from the 80s. They're quite old. But they're still gorgeous. And these are slightly creamier, just slightly waxier. But there's very little in them. I've done a couple of videos with both, and that's why I've decided to use these today, because I'm going to use these. I still want to do my scratch and go. I'm going to use these watercoloring. Sorry, for my professional watercolors instead of the watercolors at the minute. So I'm going to use them with watercolor paper. Because you can use these instead of buying anything, but they're in a pencil form, so you've got more control. You've got a lot more options with these than you have with a watercolor, but you can make washes with them and all sorts. They're not light fast though. I don't think these are light fast. They don't claim to be. I don't think they are. Yes, the ink tense ones are, mine's an old set. Half of them are round and half of them are hexagonal. I think they're hexagonal now, so they don't tend to roll as much. But the old ones and the old pastel pencils, which I've bought as well, the vintage set, the strip is a couple of millimeters fatter in the vintage set, and they are softer pastels though. But I've got old ones of both, and there's very little in them. I think they had to kind of go a bit eco-friendly for the wood, so the wood is a slightly different texture. So this wood is slightly different, but there's a bit of a sheen on these. But I have done a pencil drawing. There's a couple of videos. Hi there, Jessie Does. Hello, darling. Jessie. Let's see if Jessie will come. Hello. I'm sitting in her seat. Jessie. Hello, Jessie. Hello, darling. Hello. Hello. Oh my goodness, this is a first, guys. This is Jessie Does. Hello. So this little girl had cigarettes put out on her back. Didn't you? And she's beautiful. Hello. So she's a bit bald in places. She's very tiny. She's not like Bungle at all. Hello, Jessie Does. I know what you're going to do. You're going to steal my water, aren't you? Hello. She's very vocal, but she's so tiny, aren't you? She's such a did, and she's a beautiful little face. She won't let me hold her, though. After all this time, she won't let me hold her, but she will jump on my knee. Well, actually, I'm on her seat. This is where she sits. No, you're not drinking that water. No, you're not drinking the water. You've got your own water. So she's a bit grey, but she's only 5. And some nasty, a man and lady used to put their cigarettes out on her. And she's such a little girl. And she's beautiful. You're not going to drink my water. Are you purring? Isn't it, Danny? Yeah, I just got to be careful because I can't hold her. Hello. She's very vocal, is our Jessie Does, but she won't let me hold her. Will you? She's very pretty. I found a beautiful picture of her with those huge eyes. Not drinking my. She loves paint water. Don't you? You're a bad girl. Bad girl. Sorry, guys. It's a big thing for her to do this. She's only just started to do it, and we've had her a while.
it took a long time for her to she'd stopped, I think she stopped eating, I think, I can't remember now. But she's such a diddy girl. She's such a did. Aren't you? Going to sit down? I'm not holding you. Good girl. She's not happy. I want to show her face because she's beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. So I have to stop another because it's so important. Although she's not actually going anywhere now. You're not going to drink my water? No, you're not. Thank you. What are you doing now? Sorry, guys. Get on. Can we get on? Do some drawing. Do some drawing, miss. I'm going to sit on my knee. So this is Jessie Doodles. And Jessie went out to her home and then she was returned. And then we decided that it was too stressful for her to be rehomed. So she stayed with us and it took her a few weeks to forgive me, didn't it? But we decided that she was going to stay. And they said, oh, she can't go anywhere else now. She has to stay. She's got scars on her, bless her, haven't you? So she's had a bad 5 years. Can I have the nice end rather than the bum end? Thank you. Sorry, guys, there's going to be another one in a minute. Yeah, she doesn't like me holding her at all. I'm not going to hold you, but you're not having the paint water. She's purring away, aren't you? I think if somebody had done that to me, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with anybody. She's a pretty girl. And she tells Alfie what to do. Sorry, guys. So we've had a bit of a Jessie Doodles. We've seen everybody today nearly. Haven't we? We've not seen Jessie. And the guinea pigs. Or the bunnies. But you are molting, missus, aren't you? Ow. She's very vocal. Right, can we get on, please? Can we get on? Good girl. I'm not going to do this all day. I know you want me to do this all day now. I can't sit here and do this all day. I've got to get on. I have to get on. No, you don't. This is what you're here for. For me. Thank you for standing on me. You're not having the water. Jessie Doodles. Jessie Doodles. I know. I'm not going to do. No, I'm not doing this all day now. No, enough. Enough, miss. Sorry, guys. She's Miss Demanding. She's gorgeous, but she's a little demanding girl. Bless her. You can sit on my knee then while we do this. Okay then. Okay then. Sit down then. Keep your tail out of the way. There's a good girl. We want your tail out of the way. Thank you. There's always cat hairs and bits everywhere. Don't dip your tail in the water. Oh yes, we got her, and then yes, I know. I got her, and I dipped her tail in the water, and then she went to a new home, because she didn't like any other cats, and so we said, oh, I can't keep her because we obviously had the others, and all of a sudden she's fallen in love with Bungle, and she's a completely different cat, aren't you? You've been a good girl. Unfortunately, now I have a cat on my knee. You're purring. So when she came back, they said it was really stressful for her to be rehomed, and there was talk of her being put down for, thank you, for her own good. Oh, you stood on the wet bit? Yes, you did. And because it would be too, there comes a point where if a cat can't be rehomed, it's cruel to keep it alive. Now, obviously, I That's definitely a no in my house, because obviously nobody would have Alfie if you didn't want poop on your bedroom floor every morning. But we have to forgive him and we have to live with him. Talking of which, it's behind me. But we decided that she'd live in the bedroom all the time. And then we had kittens, and for some reason she came downstairs and she just fell in love with Bungle after months of not liking any cats. But of course Bungle has that effect on everybody, so all the girls fall in love with him because he's special. Alfie, he's a good boy. And so we said that we'd take her on and she could live here. And now she loves everybody. And she's not keen on Toffee. Toffee's the little girl that we got from Filey. You're sitting on my knee. This is a completely new thing, to sit on knees. Which is why when it happens, I have to give her all the attention, because it's taken a long time to get her back to this stage. She didn't forgive me for a long time for me sending her away. Did you, Jess? So I decided, well, I don't care. She's not going anywhere. She's stopping here. Oh, hi, Pamela. Welcome to Benny's Designs. We're just talking about the puss. Little Jess is sitting on my knee, purring. And she doesn't often do that. So again, it's a big thing. And the same with Betsy. It's taken a year and a half, coming up to 2 years. And she crawled on my knee for the first time about a week ago. And she actually sat on my knee. Didn't last long, only a minute or two, but she did it. And that's taken a long time. And I like to get through to people that please have a cat that has issues, because when that cat comes round, you are so... I mean, Jessie is absolutely adorable. But she hid under the cupboard. In fact, the lady, they had to take the sink out because she'd gone back to the different fosterer, and she hid behind the sink, and they had to take the sink cupboard out to get her. And now she doesn't shy away when anybody comes in the house, but it's taken 6 months. And people look at a cat and go, oh, I'm not having that. Ugh, something wrong with it. No. But when they come round, they are the most adorable, loving little cats than any cat would be, any kitten would be, that hasn't had any trauma. So if you're thinking about it and you've got the patience, it's not easy, but if you've got the patience, just sit there and let the cat come to you when it wants. They will do eventually. And then you have the most loving little cat that would otherwise be destroyed, because it's for its own good. Because cats, if they're stressed when they go to a new home, it's kinder for euthanasia. Now, I really don't believe in that, but I have seen this absolutely traumatized. And it's a very strange thing. But I would always urge somebody to take one on. Dogs are different. If you don't have children or you have grown-up children, yes, we've never had a proper dog. We've never had a proper cat either, have we? Jessie doos. Sorry, guys. I apologise. Oh, Colouring Faces. Yes, 2 of ours were the most abused, and now they're the most loving cats. Yeah. Are you having a pair? The problem is Alfie gets a little bit jealous, but he doesn't do anything. and she rules. She has that big, comfy sofa chair of mine, and nobody's allowed on there because it's her chair. So she rules, don't you, Jess? You rule this room, don't you, darling? But it's not easy, is it? It's not easy being beautiful. It's not easy being such a little girl. In fact, I've just found an old photograph that I'm going to try and do in the beautiful pencils that Melody bought for me. The Derwent Light Fast. I've just found this photograph of you, Jessie Doos. I did. And you're very pretty. So I think, because I put this one on, I put this one on. You're not drinking my tea either. No, you're not. What, are you mouthing? That's our Jessie Doos. And I think she's got the most beautiful big eyes. Haven't you? You've been very vocal. Have you eaten your dinner? You had your tea? If you had your tea, can you get your tail out of the way, please? Thank you. I have a tail. So Jessie's very pretty. Very pretty. She's got I know. But you're very loud, aren't you, sometimes? She's very loud. Is Jessie. Jessie Doodles, you're not drinking my paint water, thank you. Okay, you're not having it. No. No. Thank you. So it's taken me quite a while to get claws, Mrs. Claws. Thank you. Claws. So I've got a little bit there to do. And we've got underneath to do, and the young man. But I think I'm going to call it a day now, guys, because my throat's gone a bit. And this tail is going to be in the water before long, isn't it, miss? Is the tail going to be in the water? You're going to be a good girl. Everything's covered in cat hairs, guys. Oh, thank you, Pamela. So we did this one in part 2. And then, oh, excuse me, the cat hairs are getting to me. And then we did this one with Graphitint, the Derwent Graphitint. You settled down now, haven't you? I just took my tea, guys. See if I can come round a minute. Oh dear, excuse me. I'm pretty sure I might try the butterfly. That's my tea, Jess. Oh, excuse me. So this, oopsie. So I'm more than halfway of the fiddly bits. So we'd say probably 5-6 hours. Oh dear, excuse me. I must be allergic to booze. Can you get your tail out of the way, please? So I quite like that. I'm quite impressed that I've done different colours than I thought I would. Oh, excuse me. Goodness me. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. So have a wonderful day, guys. I'm going to have to go do something with the Jessie Doos. I have to have my inhaler. I think it's in the other room. Because I've just got this. This is in the way, miss. Yeah, she says, I don't care. I don't care, she says. I just don't care. I'm more important. I'm more important. Whoops, you're going to cry. What are you doing that for? Thank you. You're coming down. What? She can almost talk, can Jessie Doos. You're going to fall off. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or morning, depending when you are on the planet. And I'll catch you next time. I should be here next Thursday, if not before. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.